Hey guys, Troy here, back with another video today. We have a good one today. I'm going to be sharing with you guys two players, one in basketball and one in soccer, who I think have the potential to be future stars and right now are currently undervalued. And real quick disclaimers before we get into it. The title is just a title. I do think these could be good buys right now, but it's just my opinion and more of just to give you guys ideas. Obviously, do your own research. And obviously only buy if what you find or what you think lines up with that. This wouldn't be the first or the last time I'm wrong about a player or a card, but still I thought it'd be useful to share with you guys today what I've been thinking and what I've been picking up. Now, if you're a regular on this channel, you know I have pretty much one rule. I don't have many rules. I try to, just kind of look at the situation and see what's best, but for the most part, there's one rule I always follow, and that's I will only invest in a player if I think they have the potential to be a true star. And the first player definitely has his negatives and things we should be worried about, but I think more than anything, he does have the potential to be a true star, and that player is Michael Porter Jr. This story has been told a million times, but Michael Porter Jr. was the top ranked recruit, one of the most promising prospects in ages. He went to Missouri, had injury issues, even his beginning of his stint in the NBA, he was out injured. So I think a lot of people are familiar with him, but there's a ton of concern, rightly so, not just in the card hobby, but even, if GMs looking to trade for such a talented player, they're worried about him. Can he do it over a sustained period of time and can he even stay healthy? But for me, at his current prices, with the way the market has been, if you're looking for any kind of opportunity, Michael Porter Jr. would be that guy. He's only played 7 games this year. Thankfully not due to injury. I believe it was COVID or COVID protocols, but in his 7 games, he has 2 30-point games. And his numbers have not been as good in the other games. I think a lot of that has to do with Jamal Murray and Jokic. Those are the stars. That's who the offense is going through. But when it's just Porter Jr. out there and he's able to get shots and be more the focal point of the offense, you see it. He's all-star, he's superstar. I'll go as far as to say he's a potential all-NBA player. You saw it in the bubble with his performances. You've seen it this year. Yes, it's only flashes, but if I was going to take a risk on someone, for me, it would just be Michael Porter Jr. If I've learned anything from the James Harden trade and just the way the NBA is in general now, I think one of the best bets you can make in the sports card hobby is seeing bright talent and betting on them making their way to another team and finding that opportunity. Because with the way the league is now, in my opinion, Michael Porter Jr. is just too talented to be the third option to Jokic and Murray. And I really do think he's going to find himself on a team where he's one of the go-to guys pretty soon. But also, as mentioned earlier, one of the reasons I like him is his prices. And I'm not going to lie and say he's really cheap, because he's not. But I think relative to some of these other prospects that, just like Michael Porter Jr., you'd be betting on, who in my opinion don't have the same star potential, I think Michael Porter Jr. would be a good buy, especially because his prices have not exploded or gone up the way pretty much anybody else with the pulse has. So let's take a look at his graph over the past year. So the first thing that will stand out right away is that huge peak back during the bubble, and we have not even gotten close to where that was. We're looking at his Silver Prism PSA 10. His card got all the way up to just under $2,000. It then dipped down to around $600 and has risen slightly this season. It's definitely up from the off season. I don't think you're going to find a single card that isn't, but it's only up, $300. It's around $900. If you went to eBay to get it now, because I know we have a bunch of comp police on this channel.
Can't do the time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up.
If you go to eBay right now, it's probably going to be over 1,000 because he did have a good game last night. He scored 30, so these are probably going up. But that Silver Prism graph was more so just to illustrate his overall price trend. The Silver Prism PSA 10s have probably flown already. Those are always the first card to go. But if you look at his optic or some autos or something like that, I'm sure you'll be able to find opportunity that with his cards, because it was just one good game. I don't think his stuff is absolutely flying right now. I think you'll be able to find some good cards at a fair price point, especially compared to just from the 2019 draft class. Anybody from that class, what they've been doing. I think Michael Porter Jr. would be a good person to look into right now. Now, the next player is a soccer player who similarly has that potential to be a star, truly world class, but even more so, and this is why I think the soccer card market has so many great opportunities, he's already established himself as world class. There's an argument to be made that he is one of the best, if not the best in his position right now, and that is Alfonso Davies. The young Canadian left back who plays left back for Bayern Munich, plays a little bit more in an advanced attacking position for the Canadian national team, and I could see that potentially being in his future down the line. But for you guys who aren't familiar with him, very exciting, and he was recently named in pretty much all the team of the years as the top left back in the world. And if you can tell by his highlights and me, talking about how exciting he is, the fact that he plays further up the field for his national team, he's not some lumbering, boring defender. Usually I don't like to invest in defenders for the most part, but with what he does, everything he contributes, all the stuff he has going for him, I just think he's going to be one of the most popular, relevant, and more importantly, top soccer players in the world. He's only 20 years old right now. He's coming off a minor injury, so I think maybe some people have kind of forgotten about him or cooled off a little bit, but I really do think he's going to be one of the stars of world soccer for the next 10 years. And I'll bring it up again. He's Canadian, and that does matter. I think sometimes it's a little foolish. I've heard a lot of people talking about, the North American World Cup in 2026. That's a 5-year horizon. I mean, congrats to you guys if people are holding the investments or have a 5-year plan for the cards they're buying. That's not really how I'm doing it. I mean, there's a couple things I want to long-term hold, but 5-year timelines are definitely not what's shaping the majority of my card decision right now. But I think the fact that he's more marketable, English, he's going to be in, EA Sports. Actually, off the top of my head, I don't know what shoe brand he signed to, but for the sake of the video, let's just say Nike, Adidas, he'll be in those ads. He's a marketable guy. To sum that all up, even though he's a left back, he's box office. He's big time to me. And considering all that, I think his cards are pretty underpriced right now. One of the big ones I'm a huge fan of is obviously the Optic rated rookie. And for the comp police round 2, this is what I picked it up for. I'll be the first one to admit I am not a card genius. So if I'm able to find an opportunity, plenty of other people will too. I picked up his Optic Holo rated rookie for $150 in a PSA 9. I've been able to pick up his regular Optic rated rookie in raw condition for $20 when that card was, I believe at one point, over $60. And funny enough, for the first time ever, I think, I'm going to actually recommend another card over the Optic rated rookie. That's him in his Bayern kit. I would recommend looking into his Topps MLS rookie cards. That's another thing I didn't even think to mention. He's an MLS Academy product. So it's not just Canadians who will be interested in him. It's obviously Americans who are going to be familiar, but I love his Topps rookie card in his Vancouver Whitecaps kit. I was able to pick up this card and this card for $200 total. And there's a good amount graded on eBay. The prices kind of vary because once again, always think about pop. The pop on those cards are pretty low. I believe it's under 100 each. So especially for the Canadian American MLS investor, I think having him in his MLS kit and it being, his true rookie card, I think that idea is a little overrated. There's validity to different types of rookie cards. But still, I can definitely see people who become big fans of Alfonso Davies who are in America and Canada, one day, maybe down the road, they're really going to be interested in that card. But all right, guys, that's it for the video today. Just 2 guys I've been looking at. Once again, do your own research, make your own decision, but I wanted to share with you guys kind of what I've been thinking with those 2 guys. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and we're going to keep the videos coming. Thanks again.